Hello, welcome to WD18, the Watford fan channel. It's finished Norwich City 0, Watford 1, and one step closer to the promised land, to the Premier League, back to the top flight. And results going our way today as well, with Brentford dropping points, with Swansea dropping points. It's tantalisingly close now for Watford and for Watford fans. But thank you very much to everyone who joined us tonight. A massive win. I've just about got my breath back from that 7 minutes of added time. I mean, that was absolute hell, lads. I saw Elliot, you tweet out that you thought it'd be 15 minutes. And I was like,
it wouldn't have surprised me. It really
I was expecting the whole 45. I was expecting the whole 45 again.
That was the longest 7 minutes of my life since Al Lauskas came and goal at Villa Park. I mean, unbelievable. Sam, I wanted to get your reaction, mate. I mean, Watford produced, I'd go as far to say, one of the best performances of the season when we needed it most.
Yeah, exactly. I thought every single player out there, 110% performances. I can't think of anyone below a 9, 10 out of 10 tonight. Xisco Munoz absolutely nailed it. We criticised him. He absolutely got that spot on tonight. Game plan perfect. Execution from the players perfect. Where's our invitation to the Super League? That's what I'm looking for.
The only thing is, I saw, with the international chat about they won't be able to play for national team. That's basically ruled Cleverley and Gosling out for a call-up. Anyway, Elliot, from your perspective, reaction, mate. I mean, what a performance from Watford today.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And actually sort of on Sam's point, I was noticing people sort of praise every player individually in separate tweets, different people saying, oh, I thought Backman's great. And then I saw someone else say, oh, I thought Messina was great. And after a while of me scrolling, I thought, actually, I think every single player has been named at one point or another. So it is a testament to how well every single player played today. And it was just all positive. I know that there were probably issues in the game that we had. We struggled to put the ball in the back of the net at times, and we could have actually been about 3-0 up at half-time. But, you can't not be positive about tonight, and you can't not just think about the prospect of promotion, because it is now incredibly close. I hope the players aren't thinking about it, because I don't know how they're not. But, yeah, I think we can now believe, but the players have to sort of keep focused on Millwall on Saturday and just hope it's a routine home win.
Fingers crossed. Oh my word!
Yeah, it's just such an amazing performance, such a massive win. And
did you expect it, Elliot?
No, not even a little bit. It just, and I can hold my hands up and say that I don't think many people would have done in their right minds after watching the display on the weekend against Luton, and we don't want to dwell on that too much, but the turnaround is incredible. It's a testament to the work Xisco Munoz is doing, that he's managed to turn around the squad after what is pretty much as soul destroying a defeat can be, as a Watford player, a loss at Kenilworth Road, and he's turned it round, and we've gone and beaten the champions elect. Seen people say, oh, we could push for the title. Norwich City will be the championship winners, and we've beaten them pretty confidently, and we've done the double over them. So yeah, I didn't expect it, but I'm just so glad it's happened.
Xisco Disco is being lined up for Saturday as well. Oh my word! Oh, already the fact that we could get promoted on Saturday is just incredible. Sam, I wanted to talk to you through this Watford performance. Already break it down. That first 15 minutes or so, Watford really came out the blocks quickly. What did you put that down to? Was it the introduction of Klebs and Gosling in there in the middle?
I think it was. I think, we'll go on to the team selection shortly, but I look at the first, 10, 15 minutes of the Luton game, and you could tell straight away that we weren't up for it. And I imagine Xisco turned around to them and said, look, when you're going away to one of the best teams in the league, the best team in the league, you have to start well, and we can't, cruise into the fixture like we did against Luton, and we had to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and every single player recognised it. Unlike the Luton game, after 30 seconds, I was like, do you know what? We're on the front foot here. And, it did help Norwich didn't seem too up for it as well. But probably the only criticism of tonight is we weren't 3-0 up after the first 15, 20 minutes.
Gosling could have had 5 by the end of the game.
Exactly.
He was just getting so many positions. I mean, like within the first 15 minutes, he had the header, he had the shot.
I've seen criticism of that. I've seen criticism of Gosling, but actually I think it's really good from him. The fact that he got into those positions, he was a live wire. You wouldn't think of that of Dan Gosling as the sort of player that's this energetic midfielder that's in every spot at once. He's all over them.
It's exactly what that Bournemouth fan channel said to us when we signed it.
Tom Jordan, he dropped me a text saying that's what
he's going to score the big goals. Yeah. That's exactly what he said. But we'll go on to it much more depth. But I know on Sky they gave Sarr the man of the match, but I thought one of those three midfielders who
Who'd
played.
you go for, Sam?
I'd give it to Tom Cleverley. I thought he set the tone. I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. He was absolutely everywhere. I was scared he'd get sent off actually when he got booked, just because of the amount of, he's putting his foot into every single tackle. Will Hughes, unbelievable today. So good back in the six. Incredible.
Elliot the reborn.
Yeah, I'm running out of words because we might as well recycle every single week what we say about Will Hughes. It's just so good. And
this is what we said about Hughesy, didn't we? When in the Luton game, the fact that we brought Sanchez in meant that we pushed Hughesy out of this number 6 role. And Elliot, you mentioned it as well. I mean, it's just made for him. That role is absolutely made for him. And he just was dictating the tempo of the game. But as you said, Sam, from my perspective, Cleves, as someone said in the comments, is absolutely instrumental to this Watford team. The way he set the tone off the ball in that first 15, Elliot, what a massive difference he made today. From your perspective, who was your man of the match?
Yeah, Tom Cleverley. I don't want to just agree with everything Sam's saying, but it was Tom Cleverley. I think the balance was there. We were talking about there being an imbalance, and since the international break, there have been little imbalances in the team here and there in the attack and the midfield, and to an extent in the defence as well. So it just, everything seemed to be balanced out, back to normal. It all seemed like it was sort of the cogs were turning in this Watford side. And I would put that down to Tom Cleverley. I think Dan Gosling certainly helped that as well. I thought his positioning was brilliant today. And I think Will Hughes being in the 6 cannot be understated. That was absolutely brilliant. And the fact that he was back in there, and that's no disrespect to Carlos Sanchez, because I actually thought he was okay on the weekend. But you aren't able to replicate what Will Hughes does in this Watford team by putting anyone else in that 6th position. So it was instrumental to have those 3 in midfield. And then the fact that we could bring on Nathaniel Chalobah with not long left as well is a testament to how good the midfield depth is, and the squad depth as well, to bring on Kabasele, Andre Gray as well, and a few others. So it's brilliant. And I think you'd have to give Tom Cleverley man of the match. It was a vintage Tom Cleverley performance, with the way that he was launching himself into tackles. It was he didn't stop running. The passes were brilliant, and the way that he just connected the defence to the midfield, to the attack. He had everything moving, everything flowing, and it was just a brilliant performance from him. And he led from the front again, as he had done before his injury.
He starts in the Premier League. I know we'll come on to talk about the Premier League, but from what we said,
Sam's just got a call in. Yeah, that's the Premier League. There we go.
he sets the tone every game. You can tell by the way he plays. He cares about this football club. He's dying to be back in the Premier League, and I'm sure his knee is in so much pain tonight as well.
You could strapping, couldn't you? Like he went through some pain there. Yeah.
And I'm so good. I'm buzzing for him as well, because it must have been so tough to be out with that injury at that point in the season.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Sam, I think he set the tempo when we needed it most, as I mentioned just before. Someone said we bossed the midfield. Absolutely agree with that. And I think one thing that needs to be mentioned by Finn here, who says Elliot, you're a massive fan of Emin Buendia. And I don't think it's being mentioned enough that we kept Buendia quiet all night. Massive testament to the midfield. Absolutely. And you mentioned Kabasele, Elliot. Wanted to touch on the man who replaced him, the man he replaced rather, Craig Cathcart. I mean, I think we can all agree we were a little bit maybe apprehensive going into it, thinking, right, Craig Cathcart hasn't played a lot of first-team football this year. He's getting on a little bit in the last stage of his career as well. He's not a natural right back playing out of position, but my word, did he step up today, Elliot? Just a word on him. I mean, that was incredibly impressive from Craig tonight.
Yeah, and we can discuss Watford's performance all day, but it's the fact that we've kept that Norwich team so quiet, and that is the best team in the league by and large, and we didn't make them look like the best team in the league. We dealt with them, and I think Craig Cathcart is a key part of that. You've got that sort of that 3 behind Timu Pukki in attack, and you've got Dowell, you've got Cantwell, and you've got Buendia, and they all sort of rotate, they all move about, and I thought maybe Craig Cathcart would get drawn out here and there. I thought maybe his lack of speed compared to obviously Kiko Femenia, I thought that would be sort of obviously apparent from minute 1, but actually he handled it really well. I think he tucked in quite well, and at one point he overlapped Ismail Assar, and I just thought that's the most incredible thing, that Craig Cathcart has overlapped Ismail Assar. But he just stepped up, and it's not a familiar position. We've spoken about championship experience and the likes of Gosling, the likes of Cleverley having those big leaders in the team, and Cathcart dealt with the responsibility today, and he stepped up, and he hasn't started in so long. And I think he just looked at it as, he's one of the players that's been at this club for a long, long time. He knew that he had to step up in a position where there wasn't really any depth, and we were sort of worrying. We were like, well, not got Kiko and Gaki as a doubt for the game, and Mark Navarro, we never really know. And he stepped up perfectly. He dealt with it, and it was a very, very good performance from him. And it's got to the point where actually, obviously, we're going to love having Kiko Femenia back on Saturday, but I can sort of rest easy knowing that if Jeremy Ngakia isn't fit for the game, we've got a backup in Craig Cathcart now who can play right back, which is brilliant. Yeah,
absolutely. Sam, I wanted to get your thoughts on the back line today. Adam Messina came back in, but I think the two that stood out for me was Troost-Ekong and Sierralta. And, Troost-Ekong particularly has come under a little bit of attention, I think, over the last few weeks, maybe with a few sloppy bits of play. But particularly tonight, him and Sierralta. I mean, Virgil van Sierralta is what I've been hearing people call him. That man is unbloody believable. Just Sam, a word on him, because he just bullies strikers rather. And Teemu Pukki arguably is one of the best strikers in this division, and he didn't give him a sniff tonight.
Forgot Pukki was playing, to be honest with you. Sierralta kind of empty his back pockets. You know the meme, like take out his keys, his wallet, and then Teemu Pukki. So,
superb.
I also thought, just the way, because I find it really interesting watching the way Norwich play. I think it's a really unique approach to football and to the Championship, and that's arguably why they got relegated last season, because they were so adamant to keep that approach. And Todd Cantwell seems to tuck in a lot and join in, not as a second striker, but really close to Pukki. And that can often overload centre-backs, as we've seen a lot against Norwich this season. And they dealt with that so well, both of them. I'll talk about Sierralta and Troost together, because particularly with Troost, we've said so many times, perhaps he should come out. He's shaky on the ball easily. He's a liability. Tonight it was absolutely fantastic. Didn't give Pukki a sniff. Got his head in the way of everything. A bit like Grant Huntley for them as well. He was brilliant for them tonight. I'm just
lost for words.
I'm lost for words. There's no Watford player. I tell you, we've seen some good performances this season. We've seen some bad performances, but this is the first time in a long time collectively I can't think of a bad player tonight. I can hardly think of any negatives. Everyone put in 110%. Everyone played for the shirt, and that's exactly what you want to see from a Watford side.
Yeah, particularly at this point in the season as well. I mean, what a time to produce this performance collectively. Elliot, I wanted to touch on the goal. Dan Gosling got it. I think it was fifth time lucky for him. He had, as we mentioned, he had a lot of opportunities, but it was actually a brilliant finish. The way he kind of caressed it, used the pace of the ball from Zhao just to caress it into that bottom right-hand corner. Just on before we touch on the goal, the front three today, Elliot, Ismail Assar got the man of the match. Zhao got the assist. Ken, I think, actually what he offered defensively. How would you summarise those three guys' performances today? Because they really, again, led from the front and did the business.
Yeah, it's like this hiccup of sort of a couple of difficult period, even though we did quite well results-wise. It's like that's never happened. We're back to our best. Ken Sema has had a tricky time over sort of the last month or so, and I think that's fair to say. I don't think he's been at his best. I don't think he's sort of reached the heights that he was at the start of the season. But we saw just how good Ken Sema has been for us this season throughout that whole game, because we sort of got shades of left wing back Sema, sort of call back to the Vladimir Ivic era with that incredible tackle at the end. Attacking wise, he was such a threat for the whole game. Max Aarons is a very, very good right back, and he has the potential to keep pretty much any left winger quiet in the whole league. Arguably in England, he's got the potential to do it at times, and I don't think he did too well against Sema today. I think Sema really showed his quality, and defensively and going forward just proved how good he is, and it is really a great quality to have, that we've got a left winger that can come back and put in such a monumental challenge like he did at the end, and
that celebration as well.
That important, and I think that just sort of summed up how important Ken Sema has been to us this season on the whole. And it's a huge positive, and you can't not have a ton of momentum going from that. And that's also a massive thing, not just the 3 points, it's the momentum from such a big win.
And that's the thing, Elliot, the fact that I think defensively, how much of it was a collective effort today was what really pleased me, because sometimes we've gone, Sierralta, phenomenal, Kiko, fantastic, but every single man lit from the front to back was phenomenal going forward and out the back as well. And Sam, I wanted to touch on that João Pedro assist, actually, because I saw a tweet from you about João. I always read your tweets, so make sure you do go follow Sam and Elliot on socials. Link in the description. Sam, that assist, let's just take a moment to appreciate that. That was beautiful.
Brilliant. that's the João Pedro that, you know, we've loved for so much of this season. I wasn't critical of João at half time, but I was thinking that a lot of the time we got into some really good crossing positions, but Pedro just wasn't in the box, and he was, you know, in that kind of deep lying role. But that wasn't a criticism of João. I just thought it was something that he could have worked on in his game. But that assist was unbelievable. It's those moments that you think of pure brilliance in a promotion run in that really shape your season. And I think that assist goes in the category with the Adam Messina tackle in the last Norwich game, that game saving tackle, because
those clutch moments, right?
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure we'll make a list or a video at the end of the season of like the 5 main moments or something like that. But that assist just so good, and he's only going to get better as well when he starts adding some more goals to his game. And
actually, I just again saw some really good comments in the chat. Thank you to everyone who's watching today. I think some record numbers on the live stream, which is amazing. Sean said something on Sierralta before we get back onto João. Sierralta is a master of the dark arts. Great game management in the 5 years of injury time at the end. Elliot, that is one thing that's really improved in this Watford side, hasn't it? I think over the season we've seen, particularly as we've got in the position when it's become in our hands, a lot of these players are adapting, they're stepping up, and the experience day, that was the thing I wanted to talk to you about. We mentioned it in the preview about bringing in the likes of Gosling, Cleverley, these sort of players who know how to get out of this division and know what it's like to be in this position with the pressurised kind of environment. That felt like Xisco Munoz got that absolutely bang on today. From your perspective, just on that, the experience, number one, the changes he brought in and the experience as well, how much of a kind of difference do you think that played and how much of that was a key factor?
Completely, and it's probably the hardest thing to do in the Championship, hold a 1-0 lead against Norwich City, and we did it really professionally, and you could see the experience in that team, and that's no sort of slight on the younger players, because I think they showed experience as well in holding it and keeping their shape, because it's so easy to sort of fall apart at the end or to just think, right, I'm going to throw myself backwards in any position on the pitch and just defend. But I think there was actually a structure to how we defended, and in terms of the sort of gamesmanship, I think that is the sign of a team that can win ugly, and I think that's something we've learned to do over the course of the season. There have been times where we've not quite got over the line in games, and it's maybe been our own fault, and then now I think we've managed to sort of beat teams that we should beat by winning ugly or winning the way we should. Sierralta and Hugo had a little back and forth here and there when Hugo came on, and it's fair to say Sierralta was the winner of that battle, and yeah, I just think it was really good how they all managed it. They defended as a unit so effectively, and I think that's also, I think you've got to praise Xisco Munoz for that. I think the substitutions, albeit risky, were spot on. I think bringing on Philip Zinckernagel was a bit of a head scratcher at the time, but you've got to take into account the fact that Tom Cleverley was on the yellow card.
He did brilliant, by the way.
Games like that. And Philip Zinckernagel, he was brilliant when he came. He was creative even at 1-0 up. When you do have to sort of sit back and defend, he sort of found the little lines, broke in between the gaps, and he was really good. And we could actually have a second with the amount of chances he was creating in such a difficult point in the game. So the substitutions paid dividends. I don't know what Xisco Munoz said to them, but whatever he said, it worked. And I hope he says something similar on Saturday in terms of getting us ahead and hopefully holding a lead. And I don't think we have to necessarily play that style against Millwall. It will be a completely different game on Saturday, but now we've got the confidence to beat any team in the league, as we've proven today. So we're almost there now.
One moment that I did really like, I think when I was watching through Sky Sports, they mentioned that Nathaniel Chalobah asked I think it was one of the Sky Sports reporters on the touchline what the score was in the Brentford game, which is top draw. In terms of the substitutions, I completely agree with you, Elliot. I think he got them absolutely bang on. I think the particular one that stood out for me was Nathaniel Chalobah. I thought he did so well when he came on. He kind of, the bar was set from the two players in Dan Gosling and Cleverley, but he came on and just kind of took over that tempo and just kept it at that level, which was fantastic. And actually, Andre Gray, a little word for him, because I thought when he came on, he was running himself into the ground. He had a couple of opportunities where we could have kind of sealed it. But as you said, Elliot, I thought he got his substitutions absolutely bang on. Sam, we've got to look ahead now. Saturday, we can secure promotion to the Premier League with a win. Brentford played Bournemouth in the midday, the early kickoff anyway. And if Bournemouth win against Brentford, we won't have to do anything. If they draw, I think we only need a point. And if they win, even if we win, we're in the pond. So, Sam, from your perspective, how excited are you for Saturday? I mean, what a day this is going to be for the football club.
It's gonna be. I can't wait. Do you know what though? I see Ben Foster got injured tonight in the warm up. So first of all, best of luck to Foster. But isn't it all set up now for Rob Elliot to drop out, and then we have to call in Jack Bonham as an emergency?
Sam, whoa! Chill out, Sam. Look,
Still got 3 games. Still got 3.
Sam, bloody hell! Sorry, mate.
I am so excited, and I hope that we can find a way as well, COVID friendly, that we can welcome the players to Vicarage Road on Saturday. That we can get behind the team somehow and let them know that we're right behind them. And I feel like this is our channel's a really good way to do that. Hopefully, a couple of the players I've seen the channels. If they're watching tonight, tonight we're also. I can't state how proud we are, because I think that's the thing tonight, is that genuinely, I was not expecting that. Only football over the last 4 days can take you from the lows of Luton, where we're saying that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen, to tonight, which is another level that I've seen, and just proud more than anything else. And I'm so excited for Saturday. My voice is going after that.
Mate, genuinely, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, in all honesty. Elliot, how are you feeling, mate, going into Saturday?
Well, I'm looking at the positives, because, of course, we're going to be so nervous on Friday night and on Saturday morning for it. It's going to be a scary one. It's going to be a nerve-wracking one, but it's just so positive right now, and it's such a great moment to be a Watford fan, particularly with the last 4 days, not just with Watford, the lows of losing to Luton and beating Norwich, but it does feel like the whole world of football has sort of just been turned on its head in the past sort of 3 days, and it's pretty crazy how during this time Watford have just sort of quietly gone about their business, and now we've beaten Norwich, and now football's sort of correcting itself again, and hopefully one form of football correcting itself is Watford returning to the Premier League, and Saturday is going to be such a nerve-wracking one, and I half hope that Brentford just win it against Bournemouth so that we can go up on our own terms, but at the same time, I don't want to take any risks. I'd love for Bournemouth to beat them 5-0 and for us to be up by the time I even get into the ground, hopefully on Saturday.
Well, I've got it sounds.
Elliot, the dream is right. Imagine, picture this, right? Bournemouth against Bournemouth Brentford, scores 0-0. 94th minute, Jefferson Lerma scores the to say Watford up. Could you imagine?
I thought what Sam was going to say is Elliot was going to be at the game and then kind of just hug Cisco when we get to go for just one beer with Cisco. I'll tell you what. No, I think just on that, I think Sam made a really good point, actually. More than anything tonight, I think I'm just proud of Watford because, as you both of the lads mentioned, we had a really difficult day on Saturday, and it was a quick turnaround. And you really did feel like this was a pivotal point in our season. If we don't turn up, then the pressure's really going to start to build. But, I'm so proud of the lads and so proud of Cisco because they delivered today. They stepped up when they were counted upon, and they produced an incredible performance, which made me really proud to be a Watford fan. As Elliot mentioned, it's been a difficult couple of days for football in general, but I think Watford have stepped up when they needed it most. Certain players stepped up when they needed it most, and a particular shout out to Mr. Craig Cathcart. What a man. Unbelievable right back. Someone just asked Sam about Aaron. Sam, be honest, do you try and rule like Backman?
I don't think anyone can try and rule like Dan Backman. That voice is so unique. It's just...
Sam, I've got to ask you. I mean, we're going to be all sounding like Dan Backman if we go up, right? In a game. I've got to ask you, if we go up, what's your plans?
Right, here we go. So
we're not getting ahead of ourselves, are we?
No. It will take another level of Watfordness for us not to go up now. I think it's going to be straight to the pond, really. Hopefully there is a safe way to do this. I'm not sure if I will go in the pond, not because of COVID, because I'm not sure what other diseases are in there. But I will be joining in with the celebrations. Hopefully, grabbing a drink with a few mates as well. And let's not, as Elliot says, let's just win the game first.
Absolutely. Elliot, final thoughts, mate, just on everything.
I just love how it's all panned out. I just think things have actually been so fortuitous for us over the past few weeks. Really, when Swansea and Brentford like us at times, haven't had the bottle to see out a game, or haven't had the bottle to maybe win when the pressure is on them to win it. And it has come at a perfect time. We often say our typical Watford, things messing up or things going against us, but it has gone completely in our favour, which I can't believe. Like, I'm completely shocked by it, that actually things are going our way this much. But we've now got this opportunity where we'll all be looking forward to Saturday. We'll be counting down the days, counting down the hours and minutes and seconds until we kick off against Millwall. And it will just be such an incredible feeling to go out there and hopefully win that game. It does feel like the culmination of something on Saturday. I do hope it happens on Saturday. I hope it happens full stop, because, you know, we're not up yet, but it just feels like now we're waiting for Saturday, and hopefully Bournemouth mean that we don't even have to think about it, and that those Watford players don't even have to set foot on the pitch and get promoted. But if not, then it'd be massive if we can do the job at Vicarage Road, where we've had such an incredible record, and actually go up with hope. I think it's on Hive Live. Have everyone watching on Hive Live. Incredible moment. The amount of videos that the club will put out, I'm sure, will be amazing.
Just to jump in there, the scenes at full time today. Oh, unbelievable! I was loving it. What was Scott doing, by the way? He was like cuddling the
wallpaper. If there's one thing I'm going to miss about Hive Live, I can't wait to be back at the games. Whenever we scored, Tommy Mooney's going in the background. Get in there. Elliot, I've got a question for you, actually. I mean, I know we're just talking about the club generally, but I think it's probably a larger question. But do you think Vladimir Ivic has helped a lot with us seeing out these games and building that defensive solidity?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Obviously, we're discussing things that we'll never know truly about. We don't know if Xisco Munoz could have come in at the start of the season and had the same effect, and in which case we'd have won the league already. Because I think if we'd have done it if we'd worked out the league table solely based on when Xisco Munoz has come in, I think we're topped by 6 points or something ridiculous. Yeah. But I do think that defensive stability, and I sort of feel bad in a way for Vladimir Ivic, because if he had a fit left back, who knows what could have happened. But yeah, I do think that helped. I think bringing in players like William Troost-Ekong, I know he didn't directly bring Troost-Ekong in, but his integration of Troost-Ekong into the team, and the whole sort of nature of it all, the whole how Tom Cleverley played. The 4-4-2 was pretty dreadful at times, but I think it did help with the defensive solidity. We know how good Kiko was at left back and right back. Ken Sema, you can make an argument that Ken Sema doesn't make that block today if it's not for Vladimir Ivic. It's a stretch, but you could make that argument because he was playing at left wing back for so long.
He'll get a medal. Deservedly so.
Yeah. There were problems with Vladimir Ivic at Watford, and it was not perfect. And the attacking football at times was really painful to watch. But actually, I think he did a good job in many aspects, and he does deserve credit for this. And I'm sure it's the sort of thing that people will recognise. And I think Xisco Munoz is probably the type to also give credit if he was asked to Vladimir Ivic, because of it has sort of been a joint effort in a way. Obviously, Munoz deserves all the plaudits if we do see it through. But yeah, Ivic does deserve some credit for this. He put a lot of effort in at the start of the season, and we are the best defensive team in the league. And I'd put that partly down to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with the lads. I think particularly recently, I think they're just very, what's the word? Not Ivic-like wins, but kind of Ivic-like wins. We've seen them earlier on in the season where defence, the foundations are there. I think what he did really well with Ivic, he built the defensive foundations there, and without a left back, and fair play to him because our defence is absolutely incredible. But one thing he didn't do is bring in the man mountain, Francisco Sierralta. That man, I think I might have to marry him. I love him. I think genuinely, it's incredible to see a centre back who's that good. What a beast he is. Lads, just to wrap up, I've said final thoughts a few times. Should we just stay on? Why not? Let's just go on. Let's just stay live till Saturday. I mean,
I just feel like as well. I know I mentioned it on the preview as well, but it's just these moments that really make football. And I know there's all the conversation about the Super League now collapsing, but you know, the despair that we had on Saturday, the kind of joy that we've got today, the whole season as a whole, how we looked down and out against Coventry. On Sky, they said this team aren't making playoffs. At times we sat there like, what on earth are we watching? What are these players? And to be where we are now, that's what football is. That's what the competitive nature of the Championship is. And the fact that anyone tried to take that away from us is disgusting, to be honest. And it's not to get all negative, but it's just the true impact of football, and we should really enjoy the next week and embrace it, I think.
Up the bloody Hornets. What a way to wrap up. Sam, Elliot, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone who watched tonight. I think we hit record numbers here on WD18. We massively appreciate it. What a win for Watford. What a performance. We'll be back on Saturday. Whether we'll be doing a live stream from the town centre, I'm not too sure, or whether we're doing a live stream from our rooms, we'll have to wait and see. But again, if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to WD18. We'll be back for a match reaction, hopefully, after a Watford win and after Watford are back in the Premier League.
I'm very excited for a very hungover Shane on Sunday night.
That'd be amazing.
Take care, everyone. Up the Hornets. Come on. That was Sam Backwood.